What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. Today we are back with another Grom video. I've been absolutely loving this little motorcycle, so let's check out a couple of things that I've done to the bike already and what we're going to be doing today. All right, so my 2025 Honda Grom, I do not have as many miles as I wish I would already on it because we've had a ton of rain for the last little while with all the hurricane, tropical storm stuff coming through. 236 miles. We burnt 2 gallons of fuel. So very cheap to operate, but as you can see, we have this big giant thing on the back, and our good friends over at Kemimoto have hooked us up with the solution for that. So that's today's project. Get that out of here and clean it up and make this thing look like an actual sport bike. I believe that they do this big extension piece just because I think the license plate has to be behind the rear tire, which is just kind of a legality thing, I guess. And I think it looks horrible. I think everybody else can agree with that. So we're going to be changing that. Our exhaust. This is our cheap $100 exhaust. If you guys missed that video, we did an install and a demo and everything on how to do that. And you can see down in here how it has changed color. It actually looks really cool. It's kind of like a black chrome when you first get it, and then when the heat gets to it, it gets that purple look to it. And I think it actually looks really cool, especially with our color scheme that we got going on this little bike. But I've been having a blast on this thing, ripping the back roads. It sounds so good with that exhaust. It's not crazy loud, but it's right on the threshold of too loud for me because I just wanted to have some good sound so I can hear it for the shifts and just feel one with your machine. And I would not remove the silencer, I don't think, at this point, just because I think it is just as loud as I want it to be. I can hear it in my helmet pretty good, but I can still hear my music. So it's a happy medium, I'll say that. Then as far as our bar setup goes, we have our bar end mirrors, which have been working awesome. We have our plugs for our factory mirrors, which allowed us to do this mount here for our 360 camera, which I still need to play with. And then we have our RAM mount here for the phone, which works really well. It's nice to know where your phone is. Sometimes if you don't have zip pockets, you're always worried that it's going to fall out somewhere. We do have our adjustable clutch and brake levers. Love these. They feel really natural, and it's a whole big upgrade from the factory ones, and they're really inexpensive. And then we do have our Honda lower chin fairing, which has been working out really well. It works perfectly with our new exhaust, and it just makes the bike look so much better. I have had half a thought of taking it off and getting it painted white, maybe to match the rest of the bike. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that yet, and then have Honda in black. I think that would look kind of cool. A little bit of customization, but that'll probably have to wait until a little bit further into the future. And then also we do have our cheeky seat cover with the extra foam. This is a must-have in my opinion for these bikes. There's all different styles, different things you can get customization for the stitching colors, and mine says Recaro on it. You can get whatever different styles from their website. But a must-have for this hard seat. I absolutely, definitely recommend these. So now let's get our box opened up here from Kemimoto. See what we got. We got some bubble wrap. We've got our bracket. It's always a balancing act so we don't drop everything. And we can get rid of our box. And we have our hardware kit right here. It looks like there's an instruction packet there as well. One-handedly or two-handedly. Then here's our bracket, very similar to the one that we did on the Navi, just a little bit different so it fits on the Grom, and that'll just bring our license plate in so we have that nice sport bike look and get rid of that weird looking rear tail fin kind of deal. So first up, you're going to grab your key. We're going to go down over here. We're going to turn that. I might need 2 hands for this. All right, turn with one hand, lift with the other, and then we can get our seat removed. Set that aside, and then we can reveal our mounting bolts for our factory whale tail. And then today we are using our Alsa Tools flex head 1/4 inch ratchet and a 10mm, and I already broke these free. I'm gonna be running out this one, this one, this one, and this one. Get all of our hardware disconnected, and then we have a wire connector right here that controls our signal lights and tag light. And what's nice about the flex head ratchet is you can turn it like 12 o'clock and just kind of use it as a nut driver almost. Which makes life a whole lot faster, easier, and if you're working on stuff, you always want to have options, and having all the different tools is always an advantage. And there she goes. All right, so our wire connector, you just want to push down on this tab right here, and then firm grip. Don't pull on the wires, pull on the connector. Get these two separate, and then you can see everything is kind of just needs to be fed around. What we're gonna do is kind of bring this back and feed it through so we can get this rear removed. So once our wire is back here, we have lots of room, and you can just kind of feed this down through carefully. And there you go. Very easy operation to get this entire assembly out. So now we're gonna have to strip this down and transfer over all of our stuff to our new bracket. So here we have our factory whale tail upside down, and we have a 10mm here, and then we have 4 screws right here to remove. So now that we have our plastic cover removed, we can access our wiring, and just want to slide this boot forward. There's a little tab here that's just holding our tag light wire in place. You can lift that up to pop that out of the way. And then these are just like a push connector inside here. You'll see once that boot's pulled forward, and just reference your color of your wire so you make sure you hook it up correctly for side for a signal light. And this is what they look like when they're removed. Very simple. And if you already forgot which ones goes where and you have it all apart, well, it's blue for the right and it's orange for the left. And then to remove our signal lights, now that we have our wiring disconnected, there is 14mm nuts on either side, and we're using today our 14mm flex head ratchet wrench from Also Tools. The flex head part isn't really necessary for this job, but it does have a very nice open end, gives you very good grip, and that helped break these free, because you'll find out they are very tight, and even with a short little wrench like this, I had no trouble. So here is everything disassembled. You can see our harness came out very easily once those 2 mounting nuts on these studs came off, and we have everything disassembled from the factory. So I have our tag light installed kind of without our hardware here on our new bracket. You can see everything is nicely the way it should be, except for, I don't know if this is a 2025 thing, if they change things at all, but this grommet, if you have the grommet in, it actually makes the tag light stick out too far. I ended up cutting mine just to get it installed over the wiring after I got everything through, because this is a big chunk of wire that has to go through that hole right there. But you can see that our wiring is actually all the way through the bracket, so we don't need the grommet anyway, but our holes are a little too big, and our flange nuts would actually just fall right through the other side. So I'm gonna grab a couple washers from my personal supply, because I checked our hardware here to see if there was anything, but this is just the hardware for the actual mounting of the bracket to the bike. So just a couple of washers and we should be good to go with that. All right, so there is my remedy. It's a couple of washers. It's not perfect. I could have ones with a smaller center, maybe like a fender washer or something like that, but what we have here will work for our purposes, and it does help that we do have the flange nuts on there, so if your hole in the center of your washer that you're using is a little bit big here, it's no big deal. And then you do have some adjustability here on the back, so you just want to make sure that you have it straight and where you want it before you tighten everything down. So now we have one of our signal lights on. You can see on the inside of it, there is that little protrusion right there, which is that plate that's sitting loosely on our other side. So make sure you got the right color wire for the right side, and that the screw for that signal light is facing the ground when it's on the bike. And now you can see we have our assembly all together. Everything is in its respected place where we want it to be. Everything is tightened down with our hardware. Our wiring isn't rubbing on anything. It's all going through this hole here. And here's our hardware for the bracket. We have a T27 that's going to go up through the bottom and end up looking just like this, with our nuts at the top, and our washer is going to go on just like that with the rounded part towards the top, and obviously our nylock with the blue nylock part towards the top as well. So here you can see all of our hardware is nicely tightened up, and now that we have everything moved in on the back of the bike, we are going to have a little bit of extra wire. So as it came over here where I made my connection, I just kind of tucked that extra underneath and everything's nicely out of the way. Just make sure you're not in any pinch points or rub areas. But this is what it looks like on the back of the bike. Let's get our license plate back on so we can see the final product. And there it is, our brand new bracket from Kemimoto is all finished up, installed. You can see there's a very nice solid mount, and you do actually have a couple of holes here on the side. If you want to mount another camera bracket or something like that, or some extra lighting, you can do that as well. But it definitely makes that rear tire stand out now, and it just looks so much more like a sport bike. And there it is in the sunlight. You can see how much it cleans up the back end of the bike. Just makes everything look so much better. And now that I'm seeing it in the light, I definitely need to give this thing a wash before my next ride. Get this thing all nicely cleaned up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to grab your own bracket, I will have a link in the description. And if you guys can drop a comment of what you think of the change that this makes for this bike, or anything you'd like to say in the comment section, definitely helps this video grow and gets it shown to the people that want to see it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.